First, again, I want to thank you all for your thoughts, well wishes, and prayers. It's really meant a lot. As you can see, I am doing better. Far from well. I can't be out here working in the shop. I just came out to shoot this quick video. But I am still on O2, but I'm doing well enough that my pulse ox stays high enough that I can be without it for 30-45 minutes. So that was more than enough time for me to come out and shoot this, rather than me trying to do it from sitting in my recliner looking like an invalid. Still have some COVID cough. My voice isn't back yet. Still have crap, in my lungs that comes up every now and then. But so that's and my wife and I are doing great. We're both getting stronger every day. So again, thank you very much. That's the update. I'm probably going to be another week or two on O2. I'm guessing because of the way I get so tired so easily, it may be as much as another 2 weeks before I can get out to the shop. And even then, it'll be spurts. I can do a little and then go rest, and do a little and go rest. But we are progressing, and we appreciate all your well wishes. We just really, really do. So the main purpose of this video is actually a look back at 2020 in review, so to speak. In some aspects, it was really a pretty decent year. In others, it was just absolutely horrible. And we'll get into all those things. For example, I try to get out one video a week. That's roughly 50 to 52 a year. I say 50 to 52 because there are weeks like Christmas and Thanksgiving and whatnot that you just can't get anything up, in spite of our best efforts. But we try. So, what I do last year, about half of that, I did 27 projects, which is not good. The year started out gangbuster though. It started out really well. I have a very, very popular video. And that, of course, is my Corncob Bowl. And you can see that picture of that here on the screen. There'll be links to all these videos down in the description below, by the way, if you want to go see them and you haven't seen them yet. So I did the Corncob Bowl. The next one was one log, two bowls. What I did was I took a log, I think it was a hackberry, I don't remember for sure. I split it in half. I turned one of them like you would see a normal bowl turn, and I turned the other one natural edge. And that's it right there. The next project was a collaboration effort with Rich, the Beard Time 16. He sent me a Cocobolo, a split Cocobolo ring. Doug Moore of the Pole Barn sent me a walnut, basically river slab that was round. He was going to make a bowl out of, and he cut it too small or too big. I don't remember what the case was. Oh yeah, it was too big for his lathe, so he cut another ring off of it and used another piece instead. So he sent me those two pieces. Anyway, I put all those three pieces back together, trying to color match the blue resin that was in Doug's to hold everything together. And anyway, it came out really, really nice, and there's what it looks like there on the screen. The next thing I turned was a resin hybrid project. I used Acorn Caps. It's on the screen as well. My wife claimed that one. That was a pretty popular project. The next thing I did was a commission piece. I turned a coffee scoop using some Hawaiian wood, the name of which escapes me at the moment, but that's it there. Then I turned an Osage Orange Box with a Chinese tallow lid, and that's there. My next project was a salvaged project from the previous year, which I was going to use as a giveaway, but it kept falling apart after many months. I started it last winter, and all the adhesives finally held up, and went ahead and cured, and I ended up turning this piece out of it. It was segmented Corian. Then I did a really quick project, which was this little miniature goblet. That was kind of fun to do. My wife wanted me to turn her some Easter eggs, so I made these, and that was the following project. So far 2020 is rolling along fairly well. The next project was this live Oak Burl Box. Then I took some Mesquite and live oak or Blackjack oak scraps and cast them in blue resin and turned a little lidded box out of that. That was actually 2 videos. I did the first video, and then a few months later, or a few weeks later, I went ahead and finished it up because the resin wasn't curing, or there was something I wasn't happy with. But I went ahead and finished it, so you can watch those 2 videos as well. All the links to all these videos are in the description below. Then I got my new Powermatic 2014, my 14-inch lathe, my little sister lathe to the Powermatic 3520B, if you will. I did 3 videos on that. The first one was the unboxing and assembly. The second one was the review of the lathe. And the third one was a follow-up that answered some of the questions that I had during the review, and correcting things that you could see in the review video that were my fault, and I addressed those in the follow-up. My next video was another hybrid project. I used a piece of ash juniper and green resin and green and white box strapping that came around the 2014, and I cast all that in resin and turned a really pretty green bowl out of that. My wife told me she wanted a stand for her for one of her Easter eggs, so I turned a quick little egg stand. By this time, things started going south. By going south, I mean I began to have water well issues. It was a nightmare, to be honest. I mean, it just really was. We started having issues with the main pump and thought it was getting weak and maybe going out. So we bought a 2,500 gallon storage tank so that we could, and rerouted how we were doing the pressure, taking the main well pump off of being a pressure pump, and it was only filling the big tank. So we were drawing from the tank and the fill line. And we did that by utilizing separate pressure tanks in the pump house, and ended up having to have it. Took me weeks to get it so it would work. With my old pressure pump, it just didn't want to get the job done, and I'm not sure why. Anytime my sprinklers came on, I completely lost pressure in the house and had no water. So I couldn't live with that. So a big expensive pressure pump later, we're talking the tune of about $500. I finally got that part of the well taken care of, but the well just continued to go south. Eventually the main pump did go out. It was bad. Had to have somebody come out, pull it, put a new pump in. Now the well is good. We finally got all of that corrected. That started in May, and we finally got everything done around the end of October. In between water well issues, as I could, I still worked on projects. I got this Blackjack oak natural edge hollow form done. Well, my first experience and experimentation with paint, or using paint on a turned piece. I did this piece of Blackjack oak that I spun with paint on it. It came out really, really pretty. I answered Gord Rock's donut challenge with this piece. That was a pretty fun and popular project. And again, still the water well issues continued, so I did a quick video on log prep and how I do those. I needed a way to hang my new sport cam, so I came up with a camera gantry, and that's in this video here. Then I did another shop project. I've been needing a bowl steady, not the same thing as a steady rest. It's similar, but not quite. Uses 2 wheels instead of 3 or 4. I needed a bowl steady, so I created that, and that's it there. Then a friend of ours gave us an 11-foot, probably 2-foot diameter ash juniper tree. Yeah, that stuff I'm allergic to, along with oak. And I was going to make her a salad bowl out of it, so I threw it up on the Powermatic, and we turned it, and I filled some of the voids, because you know juniper's really craggy and it's got all kinds of weird exterior to it. So I filled all of that with resin. It kept cracking on me. I never could get all of the sanding marks out. I had one issue after another. I just wasn't happy with it. I ended up throwing it in the fire pit, and because I can't turn a piece out that's got tool marks or sanding marks in it. I just can't do it. Somewhere along in here, this is about July, Mom went in for knee replacement surgery. That came out really, really well. My wife spent 2 weeks with her. The day after my wife gets home, my dad does a header off the front porch, and her concussion, collapsed lung, punctured lung, collapsed lung, 6 broken ribs. broken collarbone. He just wasn't in good shape. He was life flighted to Dallas. He was in the hospital for several weeks. Then he came home. No, then he went to rehab. He was in rehab for several weeks. Then he came home. He went back to another rehab facility for a few weeks. And that went on a couple of times, and Mom just wasn't strong enough to pick him up. During all of that, we discovered that he had dementia, and it has gone really, really bad. So he's now in a home for that. Again, 2020 strike 2, thank you very much. 2020 strike 3, my Powermatic 3520 inverter went down. So no big lathe to turn on. So in the meantime, I started looking for inverter replacements. Powermatic wanted a big chunk of change for a replacement, and it had to be pre-ordered and take 3 months to come in. So in the meantime, on my 2014, I turned a pumpkin box. That's this here. Then I did a video. I found a replacement inverter that would work. A friend of mine turned me on to some people that had done it and knew how to set one up. So I worked with a guy out of Dallas, and he helped me muddle through it. But I replaced the inverter on the 3520B and added a remote on-off box so that it now travels anywhere I want to put it on the lathe. And that's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. I just kept putting it off. Anyway, I did that in a video as well. Then I turned this Bradford Pear natural edge bowl, little bowl, quick to do, turned out really, really pretty. This is down toward the end of the year, around October or so. I turned this little, well, it was first the pumpkin box and then this little ghost box. Then I did another piece of Bradford Pear crotch, a little dish out of that it's live edge, natural edge crotch, but one of the edges was a saw cut from a chainsaw. Then it was getting close to Christmas time, and I did a few Christmassy type turnings. My wife had seen, when she was on vacation last summer, she saw a deer made out of logs. So she wanted me to make one. So I took some live oak and I made her a little lawn deer that around Christmas she ended up putting in the yard and decorating. You can see that deer up here. Then I did a collab with Indiana Jones. She's a crafter here in the States. She's from Florida. It was a little snowman. I sent her the turned snowman and the arms that she could glue in later, and she decorated it on one of her lives one night. So that was fun to do. I have to turn at least one tree every Christmas, so I turned this little rustic jewel. It was fun to do, it always is. Then I made this little guy. It was a commission piece, snowman turned Santa Claus. I actually fabricated the belt buckle, I fabricated the glasses, turned his hat into a cone, and then cut it and re-glued it together so that it would have that cant and decorated it all up. I thought it was really pretty. That's the second one of those I've done. And you can't do Christmas stuff without turning an ornament. So I turned this little bell ornament here, complete with a non-working clapper, but it's got a clapper in it. It was Mesquite. Then 2020 strike 4. I came down with COVID December 22nd. I was hospitalized December 26th. Didn't get out until January 6th. I never had to be ventilated, thank goodness, but it was probably as close as you can come without having to be ventilated. They had me on oxygen, but it wasn't the standard clear hose with the cannula. It was still a nasal cannula, but it was a big pipe. They were pumping like 6 liters of oxygen at me. That was a pretty miserable 2 weeks, but I survived it, and I got home, and I'm getting stronger all the time, as you can tell, and I'm very thankful for that. Again, I'm still a few weeks out from being in the shop, but I want to thank you all for your uplifting comments, your prayers, your support. It's truly, truly appreciated. Honestly, you have no idea. You have no idea. So thank you all so very much. Hopefully 2021, once we get through all this crap, it's probably going to be the end of February before I can start again, so I'll be behind in projects for the year, but oh well. Things happen, you know. So I appreciate your support. Visit my sponsors down in the links below. My Amazon affiliate link is down there. My Starbond affiliate link is down there. Enter the code MESSY10. It's here on the screen. You'll get 10% off of your order. Go to my website. You can order many of the things that I've turned, or t-shirts, caps, coffee mugs, stickers, things of that nature. Oh, speaking of stickers, if I owe you a sticker, send me an email, this address right here. If I owe you a sticker, send me an email, let me know. I'm probably a little behind, and I can't remember who I've missed, if I've missed anybody. If you want to do a sticker swap, again, you know, send me an email. Most importantly, remember the 3 L's. Live, laugh, and love. Y'all come back.